I moved into the apartment because it was cheap. Unreasonably cheap. In a city where rent eats your soul, this place felt like a miracle. The landlord didn't ask many questions. He just handed me the keys and said one strange thing. "Whatever happens, don't blame the building." I laughed it off. That night, while unpacking, I noticed one drawer in the kitchen that wouldn't open. It was stuck. When I finally forced it open, something slid out and hit the floor. A small black notebook. No title, no name, just old, dusty pages. I opened it. The first line made my stomach tighten. "If you live here, you must follow the rules." I smiled nervously. Rules? For an apartment? I flipped the page. There were 7 rules, written neatly, like someone really cared that they were followed. And suddenly, the apartment didn't feel empty anymore. I sat on the kitchen floor, the notebook resting on my knees. The pages smelled old, like dust and smoke. Each rule was written carefully, not rushed, as if whoever wrote them knew they mattered. I read them slowly. Rule 1, never whistle after midnight. Rule 2, do not look into the bathroom mirror at 3:17 a.m. Rule 3, if you hear footsteps behind you, do not turn around. Rule 4, never invite anyone inside after sunset. Rule 5, if your name is whispered, do not answer. Rule 6, on the 7th night, leave the front door unlocked. Rule 7, never burn this notebook. I laughed again, but quieter this time. Who makes rules like this? It felt less like fiction and more like instructions. I told myself it was just an old tenant messing around, some kind of horror-loving weirdo. Still, I placed the notebook on my bedside table, just in case. That night, I checked my phone before sleeping. 11:58 p.m. I had 2 minutes until midnight. That's when I realized something unsettling. I always whistle when I'm nervous, and I was already doing it. I didn't even notice I was whistling. It was quiet at first, almost comforting. Then my phone buzzed. 12:01 a.m. I froze. The sound died in my throat as I remembered Rule 1, never whistle after midnight. The apartment lights flickered once, twice, then stayed on. I stood there, holding my breath, listening. Nothing. No footsteps, no whispers. I exhaled, laughing softly at myself. "That's it," I muttered. I turned toward the hallway. That's when I heard it. A single footstep, behind me, slow, careful, as if something was testing the floor. Rule 3 flashed in my mind. If you hear footsteps behind you, do not turn around. My heart hammered so hard I thought it would give me away. The footsteps stopped. I stood there for what felt like minutes. Then, right next to my ear, a voice whispered my name. Not angry, not threatening, just curious. I didn't answer. I couldn't. After a moment, the air warmed again. The apartment felt normal, too normal. That was the night I stopped laughing at the notebook. Sleep didn't come easily after that. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt closer. I kept checking my phone. 2:58 a.m., 3:04 a.m., 3:12 a.m. I told myself I wasn't afraid. I was just alert. Then my phone lit up again. 3:17 a.m. At that exact moment, I heard the bathroom light switch click on. I hadn't touched it. A soft glow leaked into the hallway. Rule 2 echoed in my head. Do not look into the bathroom mirror at 3:17 a.m. I stayed in bed. The light flickered. Then I heard breathing, slow, wet, too close to be normal. It came from inside the bathroom. My door creaked open slightly, just enough for me to see the mirror. I didn't want to look, but something in me needed to know. I glanced at it for half a second. The mirror wasn't showing me. It was showing my bed. And something was already sitting on it, smiling. I didn't sleep after that. I couldn't. I sat on the edge of my bed until morning, staring at the door, replaying the image in my head, the smile, the way it knew I was looking. By sunrise, the fear faded just enough for logic to return. Maybe it was a dream, sleep paralysis, my brain filling in gaps. That's what I kept telling myself, until the whispers started happening during the day. Not voices, more like someone testing the sound of my name. Soft, incomplete, always from another room. I followed Rule 5 perfectly. I never answered. But on the 5th night, someone knocked on my door just after sunset. 3 slow knocks. I checked the peephole. No one was there. Then the knocking came again. This time, closer, from inside the apartment, behind me. I remembered Rule 4. Never invite anyone inside after sunset. My throat tightened. That's when the voice spoke clearly for the first time. "You've been very good." The lights dimmed. The air grew heavy. And I finally understood something important. Whatever was here, it wasn't trying to scare me. It was waiting. By the 7th night, I already knew. This wasn't a haunting, it was a test. The notebook wasn't a warning, it was a contract. At 11:59 p.m., I stood at the front door. My hand hovered over the lock. Rule 6. On the 7th night, leave the door unlocked. My reflection stared back at me through the peephole. Tired, older, not alone. I unlocked the door. The apartment sighed. Not wind, not air. Relief. Footsteps filled the hallway. Not behind me, this time. In front of me. A shadow stretched across the floor and stopped inches from my feet. A voice spoke. No whisper now. "You followed the rules. This place is yours." I wanted to ask what that meant. But then it stepped past me, into the apartment, into the walls, into the silence. The notebook fell open on its own. A new sentence appeared on the last page. "You may leave, but someone else must stay." The next morning, I packed everything and moved out. The landlord didn't look surprised. As I handed him the keys, he smiled and said, "So, did it follow you?" I didn't answer, because sometimes, late at night, when my apartment is quiet, I still hear footsteps, and now, they're not behind me. They're already inside.